Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and now the world to Global Morning Weekend Edition. Yes, my name is Sadia Yakubu Yahaya. Today, the 23rd of November 2023. We're saying a very big welcome and thank you for joining us. On today's edition of the program, we're talking about newspapers, we talk about some issues bordering our country and so much more. I know you're gonna have a good time, nice time. Today is Sunday, so how do you spend your weekend? How do you spend your Sunday? Come with me as we deep and dive more into today's episode of the program. Don't go nowhere. As we come back, we'll start with newspapers headlines.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Welcome back from that short break, and now we'll go straight into a newspaper review. And our first newspaper for today is Sunday Independence. Sunday Independence, and our first story is in 2027. PDP, that's the People's Democratic Party, fumbling democracy's calamity. And then we have judiciary take flags over Kanu's conviction, life jail. Attached to that story is the picture of Nnamdi Kanu. Under it, we have Onovo berates Nigerian Justice Security, says there was, I beg your pardon, there was unjust agenda. Yes, and that's still on Sunday Independence. We have sentenced too severe for case with deep political undertones. Ojo, judgment preempted, justice selective at Dikuru. We have on page 4 again saying, I am troubled by security crisis, says President Tinubu. And that story is on page 4 of the Sunday Independent newspaper. Attacks on schools, worship places. Nigerians task federal government on surveillance, rapid response. Yes, in case you're interested in any of these stories, you can just pick up Sunday Independence newspaper. Yes, and then moving on to the next newspaper is Sunday Punch. Sunday Punch, anxiety mounts over fate of adopted 327 pupils, and that's on page 3 of Sunday Punch newspaper. And under that big headlines, we have kidnapped Niger pupils, now 303. Kebbi, 24 schoolgirls still missing. Children cried as terrorists invaded premises. Catholic school principal. Tinubu talk of more state shut down schools. Well, that's on page 3 of Sunday Punch newspaper. We have PDP, that's the People's Democratic Party 2027 ticket uncertain over party division. That's on page 25 of Sunday Punch. We have another one. Nigerian government doing nothing to end killings, says Trump. And that's on page 10 of the Punch newspaper Sunday edition. Kanu's trial derailed by amateur lawyers. Ex-lead counsel Ejiofor. Edo TikToker arraigned over false kidnap claim. That's on page 26 of Sunday Punch newspaper. Joshua Paul promised knockout ahead of 100 million Miami fight, and that's on page 29. We have another story. Kidnappers operated freely for 2 hours after soldiers withdrew. Kebbi district head then Tani, and that's on page 18 of Sunday Punch newspaper. So in case you're interested in any of the stories, you can just grab a copy of Sunday Punch newspaper. And then deadly helps how domestic workers artisans betray home they serve, and that's on page 22 and 23. Then we have the last story from the Sunday Punch newspaper saying federal government meets ASU Monday to avert strike. Moving on to the next newspaper is The Nation. The Nation newspaper, and our lead story said fresh posers as 315 confirmed abducted from Niger school. 315 fresh posers as 315 confirmed abducted from Niger school. Then we have a picture on the showing the president and DSS boss here, and then we have Osun 2026. Adeleke shops for political platform to seek re-election. Adeleke shops for political platform to seek re-election. That's on page 8. Kogi government family holds 10th memorial prayer for ex-governor Audu. May his soul continue to rest in peace. Kogi government family holds 10th memorial prayer for ex-governor Audu. The poses, how were 315 staff students moved from the school by bandits? How did gunmen operate for hours without security intervention? What is driving the sudden resurge of mass abduction? Allegations of internal sabotage are on the increase. These coming from The Nation newspaper. And we have Tinubu, I am determined to eliminate bandits, terrorists in North. Vows to reverse region's economic decline, fast-track Kolmani oil exploitation. And that's on page 5 of The Nation's newspaper. How Kanu was misled into life sentence by lawyer. This Kanu's issue. May God intervene. And that's it from The Nation newspaper. Moving on to the next newspaper is Vanguard. Sunday Vanguard newspaper, and our lead story said kidnappings. 2,496 students abducted in school attacks since Chibok. 2,496 students abducted in school attacks since Chibok. That's on page 9 and 11 on Sunday Vanguard. At G20 summit, Tinubu demands equity in global mineral trade, A1 governance, and that's on page 4 of Sunday Vanguard. Insecurity, Tinubu vows to crush bandits, restore peace in the north. Afenifere raises the alarm over worst crisis since independence, and that's still on page 3 of Sunday Vanguard. Go on, Northern elders demand tougher action, and that's on page 6 of the Vanguard, Sunday Vanguard. I have activated strategy to secure Nnamdi Kanu's release, Governor Otsi. We have another story on page 25 which said, Wike, the People's Democratic Party, that's PDP, allowed so much indiscipline over the years, and Senator Ben Obi. That's on page 25 of Sunday Vanguard. All right. Moving on to, that's all for Sunday Vanguard newspaper. So in case you're interested in any of the stories, you can grab a copy of Vanguard, Sunday Vanguard newspaper today, and have more ideas about all the headlines. Moving on to the next newspaper is Sunday Hope. Sunday Hope, and we have our lead story, Afenifere 6 urgent regional cooperation. Afenifere 6 urgent regional cooperation. We are faced with unimaginable violence. Doranty calls on President to request a takes career to break record. We have the next story. Federal government postpones NAFES 2025 over rising insecurity. Federal government postpones NAFES 2025 over rising insecurity. And then our last story for today, Sunday Hope, is originality drives success. Obi Asika tells emerging artists. Abduction. We didn't order nationwide closure of schools, says federal government. In case you're interested in any of the stories on all the newspapers, you can just grab a copy of any of the daily newspapers. That's The Nation, Vanguard, Punch, and get informed. Read more about what's happening, about the current situation of security in Nigeria, and economy aspects, and then sport for sports lovers. All right, don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Wow, it doesn't matter how slowly you are going, but then don't stop, keep moving. Welcome to Heart to Heart on Global Television. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. How are you doing? How are you faring today? What's going on around you? I believe you are fine. I believe everyone is doing well. And I'm so excited that we can talk heart to heart today. You know, it takes a man who is actually serious with life to know that it doesn't matter how slowly you go, as long as you do not stop. And that's a quote coming from Confucius. Let me just inform you that want to look at perseverance today. You know, when you talk about perseverance, a lot of people will think about so many things. When you talk about perseverance, some people will think of, when you talk about perseverance, you are referring to something that has to do with keep moving, endurance, and all of that. But then, let me just let you know that perseverance is the art of consistency in the face of obstacles. It's the act of you saying, well, I will continue the journey even when progress is slow. Results may be minimal. Results may not even be coming at all. But then you will say, well, I will keep going. Or motivation may be slow. Maybe no one is encouraging you because everyone in the family or in your office or in the community have already think that you can't amount to anything. Maybe because people are not seeing results, they talk down on you. People say so many things about you. But then perseverance helps us to keep moving even when the result is slow. Sometimes the results may not even be there at all. But it teaches us that success isn't always about speed or grand achievement. It doesn't matter who have gone ahead. Some people might be doing very well right now and you're feeling bad. But then, it doesn't matter how slow you are. When you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it until you become an expert. And overtaking is allowed, as a matter of fact. So I just want you to know that success isn't always about the speed or the grand achievements, what you have accumulated. Sometimes it's simply about staying on course, all right, refusing to give up, irrespective of every pointer, everything happening, telling you to give up. Maybe some things are happening that you are supposed to give up, but then you persevere, you keep pushing, I can make it, I can make it, I can make it. I can make it. That mindset, it just keeps ringing in you, and every small step forward matters. Every small step. Like I said in one of our episodes, I was saying that if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, let there be motion. At all means, by all means, at all costs. Just make sure there is motion, because every small step forward matters a lot. And that is what Confucius is always saying. But then I also want you to know that wisdom speaks to the value of persistence over perfection. But a lot of people don't know that. Many people give up because they think they are not making enough progress. And that's why we don't have consistency anymore. You see someone run from one business, you are doing this business today, tomorrow you are into this one, you are doing this one today, next tomorrow you are into this one. Oh, my friend is flourishing in this business, let me get there. By the time you get there, the one you were mastering gradually, you left it to another one, you're starting afresh again, and you see yourself going backward. But then, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with the whole of your heart. It's your vision, it's your pursuit. You need to persevere on it. A lot of people think they are not making enough progress, but this quote reminds us that movement, no matter how small, is still progress. That's what it means. Over time, the tiny efforts compound into major breakthroughs. Those little things you're doing. Those little things you're doing, I don't know, but tiny efforts compounds into what we call major breakthrough. And those who persevere are often ones who reach the finish line. That's it. Those who persevere, they are the ones who reach the finish line. Do you know how many people get to school, gain admission the same day? Do you know how many people graduate? Do you know how many people go to NDA? How many people are able to go through the rigorous exercise? Those that persevere. Some of them, when their colleagues who dropped out see them, they say, you don't be major now. It is about perseverance. It's only people who persevere that always reach the finish line. A lot of people have started so many things in life, but they couldn't see the end. A lot of people want to prosper, but the little things, days of little beginning, is being ignored. They despise days of little beginning. They don't know that little step that you keep taking, matters so much. I want to give an instance. Well, some of you may not be familiar with this, but when Noah built the ark, do you know that the fastest animal entered? Do you know that tortoise, no matter how slow it was moving, it also got into the ark? The difference is the time frame. So you need to persevere in whatever you're doing. Only people who persevere get to the finish line. You will get there if you don't break the rules of the game and you persevere. So you don't need to despise the days of your little beginning, because gradually, as you're going, you keep knowing the rules of the game, the way that business works, the way that profession works. You keep growing in it. You keep growing in it gradually, until you get to the finish line where you become a professional. But some persons are not humble enough to persevere, to endure, to go through the process of making. For you to be a made man, there is a process. There is always a way to the end of everything. You can't just break protocols. You can't just go to school today and say, no, I don't want to go to secondary school. I just want to go straight to the university. No, it's not possible. No matter what, no matter how rigorous it is, no matter how time consuming, you need to persevere, endure the hard times, because joy comes in the morning. After everything you've persevered, joy will come. So it's only people who persevere that gets to the finish line, not because they were the fastest, but because they never quit. Quitting is not an option. A lot of people quitted yesterday. Today they are regretting. You need to be very careful concerning decisions that you make, because the decisions you make today will determine where you will be tomorrow. You need to stay put no matter what, because quitters are never winners, and winners have never been quitters. They don't quit. If you want to win, if you want to be at the top of your game, if you want to succeed in life, you need to persevere, because there are mountains to climb. Sometimes you will think, well, this is a bent road, but you should also know that a bent road is not an end road. The road might be bent, but the road doesn't end there. So as it is, you need to try everything possible to persevere. Well, as I said, just keep pushing. Keep pushing. Perseverance, no matter how slow you are going, you will get to your destination. My name is Ramsey Enoch. We'll see you again in the next episode. Bye-bye for now.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily, while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Good morning once again and welcome to the program. Today we turn our focus to the state of party politics in Nigeria and the future of one of the country's oldest political parties, that's the People's Democratic Party. After years of internal wrangling, defection, leadership tussle and electoral setbacks, many Nigerians are asking a simple but important question. Is there still hope for the People's Democratic Party? On this morning, my guest who will be speaking to us about some of these issues bordering our political parties, or the PDP rather, is known but Honorable Muhammad Yahya, popularly known or called as Say Baba. Now, Say Baba is a journalist, he's a consultant, a public relations, and also he is a politician. So good morning, Muhammad Yahya.
Good morning, Sadia.
And welcome. It's nice having you on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so talking about the issues in People's Democratic Party, let's begin with the big picture. When you look at the People's Democratic Party today, what do you think is a single largest factor behind its repeated internal crisis?
Yeah, so today the PDP has no future if you look at it today. But normally in the life of every...
Are you there? All right, I think we lost that. We lost him, and when we have him, we would continue again. Yes, I'm talking about the People's Democratic Party. PDP is not a new party in Nigeria. It's one of the oldest in the country. People's Democratic Party is the oldest party, and it has been producing governors and senators, presidents in many years ago. So talking about the People's Democratic Party, you know, yes, it's a very, very big party. Hello, are you there? Can you hear me now? All right, I think we are still unable to hear him due to network issues. So in case you're just tuning in case you're just joining us, this is our Global Morning, our weekend edition. Today is Sunday the 23rd of November 2025. Hello, Say Baba. All right, we are still unable to hear him. And in case, hello?
I can hear you clearly.
All right. Welcome back. Nice having you back.
Thank you.
So should I still repeat the first question?
As it looks like today, the PDP doesn't have a future, except it can transmute itself and then enter into alliances and association with other political groups and movements. But for now, what they have is the same old men doing the same old thing they are used to doing, except the same strategy. Otherwise, I don't see them having any political future.
All right. Moving on to the next question. Almost 2 years after the 2023 election, is the PDP truly repositioning, or is it still battling identity and leadership issues?
No, I don't think they have issues of identity, but they have issues of leadership. The PDP is recognizable everywhere you go. It is the normal, the umbrella, the colors are red, the white, and is it green also. So the identity issue is not a problem. The problem is lack of integrity by the leaders, lack of integrity by the decisions they make. The PDP, as it were, should, in fact, I'm surprised that there are institutions which are expected to groom leadership succession is not doing anything. But then also they have not been, most of the old men there have been unable to put themselves together and bring young people to lead the party. At least what the PDP needs is a new, fresh energy. Not for instance, you see the Tanimu Tragis are still the chairman, the Sule Lamidul has been there, he still wants to be the chairman of the party. You don't see new young people coming up on the block. unlike other new parties we are seeing. And you could also see that a part of PDP have just broken away, and most of them are going into other political parties. Some of them are going to the APC. Most of the started with about 13 governors. Only 3 are left now. So you can see there's the problem of lack of leadership. But as for identity, I don't think the identity of PDP is anything. It's not a problem. The umbrella is recognizable. Their colors are recognizable. It's leadership.
All right. Moving on to the next question, talking about leadership, public perception. When you interact with ordinary Nigerians, do they still see the People's Democratic Party as credible alternative party?
No way. The 16 years, you see, there is this problem of perception. The 16 years the PDP spent, yes, we agree that they took over from the military. But then, if you compare the 16 years that they have done, you also see that while they made some progresses, but the progress was too slow. They should have done better. The PDP should have deepened democracy. By now, we wouldn't have to get the judicial intervention in most of the issues. Political issues should be settled politically, not until they have to approach courts to settle issues. Okay, if like Sule Lamido that is contesting the leadership and has been in court, is a founding member, is a member of the BOT. I think he is one of the signatories to the PDP registration. So, and today he is battling with the young people who just keep him on board. So you can see clearly the PDP has no clear-cut system on how to leadership succession. At every point in time, there is one crisis or the other. When Obasanjo was there, he removed the leadership at will, and then he brought people he wants. And the same thing is happening now. So a system do not grow like that. The system should be able to set up a mechanism where people who will go to the next level at the point they know themselves. If you have contributed enough, you should. But here we have people are just brought in, not competent, not having anything to deliver. You don't expect a system to grow in that way. A system grows when you bring in competent people. And one thing I have always advocated of recent is the issues of zoning. They should stop zoning position, rather they should focus on bringing competent people that will deliver. I made an example of George W. Bush. When he was president, his younger brother was a governor. So you don't look at who is doing what or where the person is from, or rather you should begin to look at the competence, the delivery. Nigerians need strong democratic institutions that will build the society, freedom. You can see up till now some of the governors don't even know the difference between their constitutional powers and an outreach, because most of them are bending over backward to do all manner of things. So I think there is a serious issue of perception. In fact, a lot of people are complaining over the way our democracy is being run. And in most cases, this is because the PDP, which is expected to be an opposition, is not doing the real work it's supposed to do. They are busy made in all manner of controversy from sharing. And most of it is greed, selfish greed, not even anything about development.
All right. Talking about court and cases or courts, you made mention of court something. I don't want to misunderstand you there. Then image and rebuilding. All right. If you are to advise the People's Democratic Party on its public image, what is the first thing you would tell them to fix?
No, I would not advise them, because they know the right thing to do. They should just eschew selfishness. Most of the leaders are greedy, and this is causing most of the leadership people in leadership position are just showing excessive greed. They have gotten more than enough. They have what they have kept for their children, their grandchildren. They still want to continue to have gather amass things that you don't need to do, especially in the northern region, where you are expected to see industries coming up. The industries are dead. You can see that young people climb on trailers to travel down south. There's no plan, there's no development plan, no action. And the present Tinubu government in the past 2 years has given most of these states over close to 3 trillion. 3 trillion that are shared among about 19 other states. And what can you show for it? Nothing. So they must reduce. In fact, not even the PDP leaders alone. Leaders and the allies must reduce greed. Because What we have now is a situation where you have to provide everything for yourself. You provide water, electricity, security, and everything. But think about providing for the community, and everybody will be in peace. So the PDP must sit up. The leadership of the PDP must eschew bitterness. They must reduce selfishness. There is nothing you need to advise them. These are people who have benefited from the largest of the former northern region, most of them. So people who have benefited from the Awolowo time, they have benefited from the Nnamdi Azikiwe time.
All right.
They have benefited from the magnanimity and good leadership of Azikiwe, Awolowo, and Sardauna. So they should be able to provide this leadership. You don't need to advise them on anything. They know what to do.
All right. Electoral.
They know what to do.
All right. Moving on to our next question, talking about they do what to do. Electoral decline. The People's Democratic Party has lost control over several major states and continues to lose ground. Has the party become complacent?
Hello, I missed that question. Please, can I repeat that question?
I said, let's talk about the electoral decline. The People's Democratic Party has lost control over several major states, all right, and continues to lose ground. Has the party become complacent?
Sorry?
Has the party become complacent?
You're breaking.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
I said, let's talk about electoral decline. The People's Democratic Party has lost control over several states and continues to lose ground. Has the party become complacent?
You're still breaking.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you're breaking.
All right. Can you hear me now? So I can repeat the question.
Yeah, throw the question. I'm listening.
All right. I said let's talk about electoral decline. All right.
What?
Hello? Are you there? Electoral decline. All right, I think we'll still try and get him back so that he would continue talking to us and this morning about the political issues. All right, I said let's talk about electoral decline. The People's Democratic Party has lost control over several major states and continues to lose ground. Has the party become complacent?
Yeah, the party, it's not only complacent, the party has become a bull in a china shop. Because if the party itself cannot be able to rein in its members, it cannot instill the discipline that is required. You see, the issues of PDP are such that, I don't know how they go about these things. They just, most of the people in leadership position are just there, no ethics, no principle, nothing. They just happen on leadership position and they just do the things they want and nobody is saying no, don't do it. So when the election comes, they just throw in all manner of candidates. If they win, they win. If they lose, they lose. And one of the major problems with the PDP that I noticed is this self-aggrandizement where people are just, nobody cares about winning election. Most of the candidates have to even sponsor themselves. The party are not doing much, even paying for agents. After people buy forms, people have paid all manners of fees. Yet when election comes, the party will not be able to even pay agents. So who does that? Who does that? When you are a member of a society or a member of an association, it is expected that the association should be able to protect its members, especially when issues comes. But okay, now some of them will have to, at the end of election, they go to court. The candidates also have to fit the bills themselves. When the monies they have gathered there are being squandered, are being wasted by party executives and nothing to show for it. You expect that PDP has run Nigeria for 16 years. There are so many institutional structures that PDP should be able to. PDP by now should have ventured into several other economic aspects, especially like owning radio stations, like owning television stations, like owning banks and so many other institutions that will also ground, that will make the PDP an institution of itself by now. But what do you have? They are still living even in a rented headquarters. Even their national headquarters, they are unable to build. So it tells a lot about the kind of people that have been leaders. In fact, the decline of PDP was, the massive decline of PDP was the emergence of the man who just left, the factional Damagu. He's one of the persons who destroyed PDP. So yes, they are on decline, and there's nothing they can do about it because Nigerians cannot wait for them to finish fighting and slapping each other before they can develop. So Nigerians are looking towards other people, or looking at APC, looking at other emerging movements and so on. So they are declining, seriously.
All right, let's talk about internal sabotage. Internal sabotage. Are you with me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
All right. Critics often say the People's Democratic Party's biggest problem is not the All Progressives Congress, that's the APC, but the PDP itself. Do you agree with that assessment?
There are two faces to it. You see, it is normal that your opponent will not allow you to rest. But when you create your own problem, there is a saying in Hausa language that says, if a wall does not crack, the lizard will not have a way to enter the wall. So there is always a problem from the inside, and this is because most of their leadership positions emerge through favoritism, through all manner of quota system, all manner, not competence. If a man knows his onions, he knows what he's doing, he knows that what he is there for, he should be able to stand his ground on several issues. But when you bring people through favoritism, okay, you are a boss here, you are a juggernaut here, bring somebody, put him, whether he's qualified or not, it doesn't matter. So at the end of the day, the person goes there and messes up the whole system. So one person can mess up a working system. Okay, if you, for instance, you see, and one person can fix a system. So you have to look at the antecedents of people you are giving leadership. Yes, internal sabotage is there, but who caused it? There's supposed to be a proper screening process, proper references to records, proper antecedent checks. So before you allow people to emerge as your leaders, but when you don't throw in any manner of person to come and lead your party, that is what happens. The person doesn't know your principle, he doesn't know your core mission, he doesn't know where you're heading, he's just there and then he does anything and that's it. So yes, internal sabotage is there. But then it is a case of violent fitna in Julia, to whom is willing, no harm is done.
All right, let's take a look at defections and internal collapse. Some high-profile members have defected or threatened to defect. Is the party collapsing from within?
So personally, I do not see, there's what we call Babariga. I do not see Babariga changing ships as any issue. You see, the issue is Nigerians. When Nigerians decided they wanted to change PDP, how many governors did PDP have then? Over 20-something. And the masses decided they want to change it. So I do not see people, the quote-unquote, the big guys, changing position from one party to any other. If the core message, what matters a lot is that people are delivering. When people are able to trust you, it doesn't matter if you have the biggest names or the small. Because like a football match, you can bring in young people who are highly talented with energy, and they will be able to defeat any team, any big team. It doesn't matter. It's just you that is looking at names. There are big names that you know that cannot deliver their polling units today. They are in all the parties, not only in PDP. There are big names. You see them playing national politics. They're talking here and there. They have the big platforms, the media, because of wanting to have the big news, they bring in all these big names as their guests to talk. But when it gets to the issue of delivering polling units, there are the main people doing it there. So you should target your attention on the core people, on the Nigerians, the ordinary Nigerians who are not doing much of the talking on the media. So it doesn't matter where one. Like, for instance, some of these governors they are seeing, they are not in control of their states. That's just the truth. Some of them have lost touch with what is happening in most of their states. So the fact that one governor decides to go somewhere it might not change anything. We were here in 2023 when NNPP took over Kano. Everybody who was somebody in Kano was almost in APC. And what happened? So you stop looking at Babariga, stop looking at the guys with the big cars and the big names and the big. Focus your attention on the Nigerian people. Even though I know that PDP is structurally very weak, but even APC itself should be worried about what Nigerians are thinking too, And I expect that everybody should sit up. The APC, the PDP, the ADC, all political parties should sit up so that there will be development.
All right. Let's talk about an even national voice. Recently, the party has struggled to speak with one voice on national issues. What does this say about the strength of its national leadership?
The PDP?
Yes, the PDP.
Yeah, because they are not organized, they are sharply divided. They have been unable to rein in their members, so it is expected when a family is at crisis, everybody will be talking from any side of the mouth. So, but I expect that the governors, especially, who because of the resources and some of the powers they have, should be able to lobby each other to come together, and I don't see PDP being able to fight it out with APC at any national election, except they are able to join into either a merger or an association or an alliance. But I don't see them ready for any national election. So if you're structurally weak like that, there's hardly anything you say that will make more resonate with the people. Especially whatever PDP will say today, people will also say it happened during their time. So it might not be taken seriously. But if they can come together and then have kind of a blend of more and more people. Alliance normally, even the APC itself had to form alliance, the CPC, the ANPP, and then the ACN before they were able to wrestle power. So I think what is best for any opposition now is to go and form alliance with other movements and other political parties so that they can come up stronger. If not, I don't see them making any impact. As for Senate reps, they could be able to be lucky and win some of the positions, but currently PDP is not wired to make any impact at the national level.
All right, talking about that, can you please just give us an in-depth about the factions, both factions, the Damagun faction, the Turakis faction, and every other factions there?
No, I think the Damagun faction has melted into the Tanimu Turaki, because the Damagun thing I think they are the ones that did the convention. So the Damagun doesn't have any faction again. It should now be Balak Aura, who is also on the side of Mike Indi and Tanimu Turaki, who is now this thing. Then there is the faction belonging to Yeson Wike, which I think they will also not be doing themselves any tangible except for maybe the normal political tussle and then the influences Wiki might be able to push around. But I don't see them having any much this thing. But the fact that Damagun was frolicking with Wiki in the past shows that it's about interest. It's about interest. If not, someone who has been appointed into a government without a fiat or an approval from the party, normally necessary action should have been taken long ago. But the fact that Damagun was hand in glove with Wike tells you a lot. So what has changed? What has brought about them going separate ways now? So these are the issues you should be asking. And I don't see Wike group holding on for too long, because it seems as though the Wike group cannot in any way say they want to field candidate. You cannot be a minister in current APC government and then say you want to field a presidential candidate against your appointer. So in another party. So Wike group might likely end up in the APC, which is already what most of them are doing. I don't even see Wike in any way working with PDP. So if that happens, I think the Damagun group or the Tanimu Turaki group should have to take over the PDP, and then let's see how far they can go with it. Even though I don't see them doing a lot without forming any alliance. So, but we hope to see. We are watching, and then we are Nigerians. Anything can happen.
All right, and don't you think they will go to court, either of the factions?
Yeah,
the
I think there are multiple of cases in the courts already. Meanwhile, the court in Abuja, I think, said there should be no convention in Ibadan. Another court in Ibadan said the convention must hold. They are courts of coordinate jurisdiction. So, and where there are decisions of courts of coordinate jurisdiction, normally the latter decisions take its way. That's what the law says. But we hope to see what the appeals will come out with, because normally after you leave the high courts, cases are expected to go to the Court of Appeal. But in my own thinking, I think each party should be focused on itself. Each party has its own challenges. Each party has its own problems. Then, for Nigerians also have their own problem, which is a lot has to do with insecurity, economy, job, industries, and so on and so forth. So I think each party should focus on fixing themselves. Then government should also focus on helping Nigerians get out of poverty.
All right, talking about economic hardship, talking about poverty. All right, given the current the economic moment misuse, given the current economic hardships and rising public frustration, all right, why hasn't the People's Democratic Party been able to galvanize Nigerians and take advantage of these moments politically?
Because have you had any PDP governor complaining of funds? No PDP governor has ever come out to complain that he has not gotten his allocation. States that we are getting 9 billion, 10 billion, 20, 15 billion. Today some states are getting as much as 30 billion naira in state and local government allocation. They are getting grants. There's enough money. There are governors that have come out publicly that we have money. So most of the problem are with the subnationals. And I made a simple analysis. I said, okay, for 19 other states, if they choose to contribute to 2 billion naira monthly, in a year they have over 500 billion. That is enough to revive most of the industries that are moribund in the north. But the problem is that most of these governors are operating on another space, and there's no coordination on their part. So the monies are there for them, but they are not really doing what is. Most of them lack vision. That's just the truth. And in any case, have you heard any PDP governor complaining that he doesn't have money? So they can't complain because the monies are there. No state has been excluded from the national cake. No, none. They have money, they have resources. Let them be able to develop their societies, but they are not doing anything. You see, some of the issues of insecurity has more to do with unemployment, joblessness. A lot of young people don't have jobs to do. And these resources are coming. The resources keep coming monthly. I'm telling you, most of these states have made over 900 to 1 trillion naira in just 2 months, in just 2 years, that they have been there since 2023. But ask them, where are the impacts? Then again, federal government on its own are doing a lot, especially in the issue with regard to NEL fund, this Nigeria Education Fund. Young people can now go to school through assessing fund from. These are the challenges that families have. School fees, they can now credit card. People can now access credit from the credit card. So these are the challenges. Now the major challenge, especially in the northern Nigeria, I make cases of northern Nigeria because I live mostly here now. I stayed in Owerri in the past, I stayed in Lagos and a few other southern states, but most of my time now is northern Nigeria, and I see what is happening. Young people don't have jobs. There are a lot of young people who don't have jobs, no skills, no education. And some of these, there are states where they say 90% of the educational facilities are dilapidated. What are the states doing? When resources come, prioritize, focus on the quick wins so that you can be able to. There are companies in Kano, there are companies in Kaduna, there are factories in Maiduguri, there are factories in Bauchi. There are so many, Kaduna, Abuja Road, how many factories do you see there? How many are functioning? So we should be able to revive some of these things so that it will reduce the tension of the job, the indices on the unemployment, so that people can be able to start a new level of life.
All right.
So the issues of economy is mostly has to do. They are all the same in most of the governors, except one or two or three that are really focused. But some of them are just competing, buying vehicles and buying some frivolous things.
All right, Muhammad Yahya, let's talk about court rulings and state crisis. All right. Several state chapters of the People's Democratic Party are facing court battles over leadership. How can the People's Democratic Party restore internal stability before the next election cycle?
Yeah, it's to be fair and just to its members. Even in the family where there is no justice, there is no fairness, there is no openness, you find that there will be series of agitation and some might end up in court. Yes, there are some people that will normally go for frivolous cases, but on the face value, in some cases where people sit down, just decide on what they want to do, they cannot justify their actions. So people go to court. Be fair. Call all your members, sit down with them, explain why you are taking certain actions, so that you will be able to put them on the notice and let it be fair, let it be open. But you come out, you sit down, you break your own rules. That's why the courts have always decided that internal party issues are at the discretion of the parties. But that does not give the parties the latitude to misbehave, to treat their members anyhow. And this is why litigations will continue. But when you look at your rules, follow your own rules. There was an incident that happened in some of the party, in some of the branches of the party at the subnational levels, where one person will sit down and hold the whole party to ransom. So you don't do that. The rules are there. The constitution of the party is there. The party was registered under some of these statutes, some of these laws. Why not just follow it? Simple and ABCDU. Nobody can be in power forever. At a point, you have to go. So do your best to improve on situations that you meet on ground. But not for you to just break the rules, decide to do what you want because you want to consolidate, or you want to bring your son, or you want to bring your brother, or you want to bring somebody that you think will be favorable to you. How long will you be there? People that have been there 16 years, where are they now? If I ask you, governors between 1999 to 2007, you can't remember most of them today. So power is transient, so you must go. So what is left is your legacy. So I think they should go back to their rules, the constitution, and then some of their traditional ways of doing things. Let them go back and, in fact, return the party to the people. The people should make the party work. If you are there deciding you want to bring your brother as a governor, you want to bring your brother as a rep or as an ESCO, that is when you begin to have all manner of complaints and acrimony. And if you cannot settle it, it will end up in litigations.
All right, let's talk about realignment and the 2027 with political realignment already happening ahead of 2027. Do you think this will weaken the People's Democratic Party further or provide an opportunity for rebirth?
Yes, whatever might be left of the PDP after all their greedy and selfish fights, whatever might be left of PDP can only have a future if they form an alliance. But standing alone, I don't think they will be able to do anything tangible. So I expect to see them talking with all shades of Nigerians, all faces, all tribes, all religion, all orientations. So I expect to see them forming alliance, yeah. But I also expect to see them returning back to if they want to grow, they're returning back to their traditional overload of power to the people, which is one of their things from them, not power. Because when they got intoxicated with power, they began to shout power instead of the same power to the people. So I expect them to return the party to the people if they want to grow. Yes, definitely at a point in everybody's life, yes, you stop a little and then you reflect back on how far you have done. But honestly, PDP is declining. And for it to now stop the decline and begin to incline, that's to build up, it requires strategy, it requires a lot of thinking, it requires a lot of lobbying. Because currently, even the founding members are not happy. So you can see, they must form alliance, they must enter into agreements, they must go into association with all manner of people.
All right, talking about all manners of people, from your own perspective or your own state where you are, how powerful is the People's Democratic Party?
For the People's Democratic Party in Niger is not so powerful, but I believe the voices of reason are powerful. So if the PDP can align with voices of reason, then they can be able to have some inroads. What I mean is that there are voices of reason across all the divides. There are voices of reason in PDP, there are voices of reason in APC, There are voices of reason in SDP. Then there are voices of reason who are apolitical, they are neutral, but they think some of the things should be done this way and not the way it is being done. So it is left for the PDP now to look at and aggregate those voices of reason and see how they can be able to build on it and then use it as a gain for themselves. And if they do not, and the APC decides, okay, let's look at what we are doing, let us be able to aggregate the voices of reason and use it to our advantage. So that is their cup of tea. But there are voices of reason that the PDP should be able to benefit from. But the way PDP is in Niger as it is today, I don't think they can be able to do any tangible thing, inroad in any election. But I know that there are voices of reason who are political, there are voices of reason in all the political parties who do not necessarily agree with everything that is happening. Not because they are not people in power, but because they feel things can be done this way and in a more better way than the way it is being done now. So if they listen to the voices of reason, I think it will help them a lot.
All right, talking about Nigerians say People's Democratic Party only becomes active close to elections. Is the party truly ready for long-term rebuilding or just waiting for power to slip back by chance?
I don't see them having any vision. Anybody with vision will not waste his time fighting, slapping each other and doing what they are doing. I expect to see them sitting down, trying to lobby. Yes, some punitive actions must be taken against recalcitrant members, especially those ones who are not willing to fall into line. But then also, this is politics. And in politics, 1 + 1 is not equal to 2. You have to meander so that you don't go about in this process of looking for more weight, you go about slimming down. So you have to know what you are doing, because most of the party members, even the ones now that are expelling others, have also done most of the things they are accusing their members of doing. Some of them have also even did more worse things than what some of them are doing. So it's a case of, I expect them to draw a line. Anybody that is not willing to change after the line should now be made to face punishment. Even just like what happened in South Africa after the elections, they do the Truth and Reconciliation Committee, and they drew a line and then began to move forward. Rwanda, what happened after the genocide? They drew the line, because if you allow yourself to fall into crisis before you now draw a line, it will take you more time to rebuild. But when you see the signs, you just decide, okay, come on, let's talk. Discuss these things. These are the issues. These are the things we have been doing. All of us have been doing wrong without necessarily pointing fingers. But let's draw the line now. Let's change for the better. Then let us, after today, anybody that does social things should be able, and anybody that wants to move away from the party should move. But you cannot be in and then be undermining the party. Even as I talk to you a lot, some of them are undermining themselves even within the party. It's just something else. You just have to be there to know what is happening.
All right, let's take a quick look at the factions we spoke about earlier, the internal factions. All right, internal factions continue to fight despite repeated committees. Why is the People's Democratic Party?
Let me make something clear.
All right.
They formed a Saraki committee, and even that Saraki committee has its own interests. I don't have a single iota of confidence in the Saraki committee. They cannot achieve anything. He has been there before, and at the end of the day, where are the reports? What did he submit? So you can see. Is it not the same Saraki committee that you were seeing? The person, Saraki committee that is supposed to lead, did you see Saraki and Wike Okuki in one of his kitchens? So what do you expect from that committee? The committee is just delaying the DD. Instead of the committee to do its work, they are playing politics. So I don't expect anything from the Saraki committee. He has been there before, and the things he did, the things they did, they are there in the open. So what do you expect? There was a time that in Niger State, the Saraki committee kept meeting for almost more than 12 months, and he could not achieve anything until they have to now bypass the committee and continue their distance. So the Saraki committee, you don't expect anything to come out of it.
But why is the People's Democratic Party unable to enforce discipline?
indiscipline? It's simple. When you have an indisciplined leader, you have indiscipline across board. Because the leadership cannot have the moral right to discipline people when you are doing the same thing you are accusing others of doing. I just told you that in the past, you see that the actions that should be taken in the first day, you didn't take it. You allowed the actions to grow to a higher level. And then all of a sudden, you now want to listen. Okay, the Bala Mohammed, the Sheyi Makinde and Wike, were they not the same people who were doing, most of them were doing G5, G, Autumn and 4? Were they not the same people? So what has caused their fight now? Interest. So all of them are guilty of what they are accusing each other of doing. So just the leadership is in discipline. That's just it. So, but except and until, just like I rightly told you in the beginning, I said they should draw a line, tell everybody, okay, let's repent. Until PDP repents, let them get some clergy or men of God to come and baptize them. Let them repent. They confess their sins. Then they will now be able to move forward. If not, they are weighed down by excess luggage. And nobody will take them serious if they continue the way they are going.
So why is the People's Democratic Party unable to enforce discipline?
Yes, because they are indisciplined. The leadership is indisciplined. I just told you that.
Right.
The leadership is indisciplined. They don't have no core values. Nobody is coming with any tangible vision. Nobody is coming.
Are you there?
Nobody is coming with any. They are not coming with any tangible visions. By now, I expect to see Tanimu Traoré faction reeling out visions. Even though I listened to an interview by Sheyi Makinde when he was asked about Wiki, and his reply was something. I love the way he gave that reply, that they don't discuss people, they discuss issues. That was good. If he had done that long before now, I think he might have raised the party. But who do you think would trust Sheyi Makinde himself now, when he was the one that was dancing Yendebe in the past, just about 2 years ago, together with G5 cultural group, Wiki and Co. And all of a sudden now he says it. So nobody has any iota of confidence in them. So they need to. I expect that Tanimu Traoré should be able to, as a senior advocate of Nigeria, should be able to come up with strategies to galvanize all these interest groups into one direction. But I also overheard him saying they are open to alliance and association, which I think will help them a lot if they go that way.
All right. Is the People's Democratic Party afraid of internal reforms that might push out entrenched interests?
I missed that. I didn't get that, please.
Is the People's Democratic Party are they afraid of internal reforms that might push out entrenched interests?
Yes, definitely. That's the problem generally with politicians mostly. You see, we have not built systems. We build individuals. And that is why you are afraid. If you build systems that will cater for everybody, you don't need to be afraid. It's just like you being in the civil service. If you are in the civil service and you build a good working pension scheme, when it is time to retire, you don't need to go and panabit your age not to retire because you are afraid of what will happen after retirement. You build system. They deliberately undermine the system. They deliberately make it ungovernable for themselves. So they think that when I'm out, because of what they did, impositions, change of results, and so on and so forth, you see one person sitting somewhere in another place because he's a member of the National ESCO, he will frustrate a whole state. So that is the problem. So they need to. I expect that Tanimu Traoré, who is a senior advocate of Nigeria, meaning he's a senior man on the bench, should be able to correct some of these anomalies and then make the party a more democratic party instead of where one person. And that was obtained, and that's what made the likes of Wike very strong in the party, because they were influencing things. Because the ESCOs were there. Look at all the national chairmen that were brought. Mostly were those brought by Wike, and at the end of the day, he fought all of them. So how do you allow a party like that to be taken over by one person or two people just because of certain benefits that you get from that person? You don't do that. When you allow a system to be run at the whims and caprice of an individual or a group of people, then automatically those individuals will perpetuate themselves. They will perpetuate their interests. But allow for open competition. Even the Tanimu Traki you are talking about, look at what happened between him and Sule Lamido. Sule Lamido said he went to purchase form and he was not allowed to purchase form. Why do you close up the space? Anybody that wants to contest, let him come. Then let the delegates go and vote. When they vote, people know that they came with the mandate of the people, and that is how they will respect the institutions. But where you manipulate things in your favor, tomorrow another person might come and it will not favor you. And that's why you see that there's this challenge of transition. Anytime they are about to transit from one person to the other, there are crises every here and there. So I expect Tanimu Traki to effect some of these changes as if he successfully takes over.
All right. The People's Democratic Party is still on the PDP issue, since we're talking about politics, political party, all right? The People's Democratic Party has recently struggled to speak with one voice on national issues. What does this say about the strength of its national leadership?
It only tells you that the party is weak. It only tells you that the party is weak. And if care is not taken, the party is dying. That's just it. Where you cannot speak with one voice, you cannot be able to send a signal, you cannot be able to correct your members, you begin to fight, you begin to slap each other. It only tells you that the system is weakened.
All right, before I let you go, what else? Do you have anything to say, like an advice or parting words?
I will not advise them, because these are people that have also done a lot of, they have been in the system for long. They know the right thing to do, but selfishness will not allow them to do it. So what do you tell a selfish person? Anytime you want to tell him to do the right thing, if he does not promote his interest, he might not listen to you. He will see you as an enemy. So the best thing is to allow them to continue fighting. When they finish fighting and they are tired, they will sit down and reason. But for now, Nigerians are watching. Nigerians are looking up to all the political parties to make impact. We are more bothered about security. We are bothered about development. We are bothered about infrastructure. We are bothered about so many other things instead of focusing on the PDP issues of selfish interest and aggrandizement. That's it.
All right. If you're given the opportunity to choose a political party, would you go back to People's Democratic Party or you go to another party?
Sorry, I missed that.
If you as a person now is given the opportunity to choose among any of the political parties in Nigeria we have, would you still prefer the People's Democratic Party?
I've left the PDP. What I'm saying now is from a position of a neutral player, but I have a lot of people I have respect for in PDP. I have a lot of people I have respect for in APC. I have a lot of people I have respect for in ADC and SDP. So I am focusing my attention on candidates, because the era of partisan, full 100% party is, I don't think it has helped us much. Anywhere I see a good candidate, like in the last election, local government election in Niger, I saw one good candidate for him, and he won. So I'm not bothered. I'm not too keen about any partisan thing. I'm keen about people delivering results. If you are in APC and you are delivering results and you are able to link up to me and explain some of the things you are doing, fine. We'll definitely, at the end of the day, our movement will likely work with parties. We might also run for elections, but then it is it's too early for us to now decide where we're heading to. But we are talking with a lot of people. All the parties, we are open to discussion. In fact, so many big wigs from APC have also spoken to me, and we are considering a lot of things, but we have left PDP.
All right, thank you very much, Yahya Muhammad Seibaba, for these wonderful insights. Thank you for having, I seriously want to appreciate you for coming on to the program today, for speaking to us. I say a very big thank you. I hope we'll have time to talk more next time.
Thank you very much, Sadia. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, my pleasure. The future of PDP and indeed Nigerians' border political landscape depends on whether parties can reinvent themselves, rebuild trust, and offer Nigerians something beyond the rhetoric. We'll continue to follow how these dynamics unfold, and then, of course, talking about politics. That has been the size of the package for political discussion with Muhammad Yahya. We just wish all the political parties in Nigeria all the very best, and the PDP most especially. We pray they resolve their internal crisis. All right, my name is Sadia Yakubu Yahya. Stay tuned as we go on.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Very good evening and welcome to another exciting edition of Big Talk. Tonight on the program.
As always, it's a pleasure to have you. Join us here on Global Morning. I am Uyi Alpo.
You know how we do it on Teacher Post Extra, bringing you all the...
On the desk this evening, we have very topical issues to discuss. And of course...
Welcome to your parliamentary program, The Parliament.
Peaceful and joyful home doesn't happen by chance. It is built on...
Women can rise beyond traditional boundaries to claim their rightful place as
a numerous committee, about more than 12 committees.
Face to Face is a program that comes to you once in a week at about this time where we look into issues and discuss them. It gives you the opportunity to
world leaders in United
Welcome
Nigeria
to Entertainment Circle. And trust me, today you're about to get entertained.
Hello everyone and welcome to the program Talk Sports here on Global Television.
Talk Zone is that platform where we bring young and talented artists.
Stay tuned, stay inspired, stay with Global Television on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
From that short break, now we're going to talk about security and kidnapping in the country. You know, recently we've been having kidnap issues in our country, most especially in the northern parts of Nigeria. And joining me this morning is Jonathan Essen, a journalist and a public commentator. Good morning, Mr. Jonathan. Are you there? Hello, Mr. Jonathan. All right, good morning. Good morning and welcome to Global Television, Global Morning Weekend Edition.
Thank you so much.
All right, given the current situation and trends in Nigeria, how would you describe the current security situation in our country, especially with the rise in school kidnappings?
Well, first of all, I would like to go back to history, where we had a country where everyone lived peacefully, from the north to the south, from the south to the west, from the west to the east. We all lived as one. We didn't have any disunity or any problem. We had people like my parents who had to leave in another man's land, schooling in another man's land, and they enjoyed, what they called a good education and also good finance. But coming down to today, we have seen a whole lot, rising from insecurity, school kidnapping, churches, and everything. And we have heard a whole lot. In the past 14 days, I think the country has not been itself. The country has been bleeding, and everyone has been affected, even if we have not seen the incident firsthand. But just listening to the story, I mean, it's heartbreaking. So currently, Nigeria, the security situation in Nigeria right now is nothing to write home about, and it's something that the government, the security operatives, and everyone, all individual, we all need to to wake up and see how we can try to help in solving the issues of insecurity in the country.
All right. Are we seeing any new partners in how kidnappers operate? What has changed in the last year?
First of all, we could remember was it early this month? Or was it late last month when Donald Trump, designated Nigeria in the list of the CPC? That is, and so far, when he made mention of sending his military troops into Nigeria, we have seen a whole lot of the rise in terrorism, kidnapping. I mean, it has skyrocketed by the past 2 weeks, and we have seen this happening consistently. So, first of all, I'm going to say the announcement by Donald Trump, one of the issues that led to the rise in kidnapping, is what we did not see. I think last time that we heard that students in schools were being kidnapped, I think the massive story that we had was under the past administration of Bele Goodluck Jonathan, where the Chibok girls were being kidnapped, and until now we have not even had the release of most of those girls. Now we've had in the past 1 week about 3 schools being invaded. We had the St. Mary's School in Niger State of recent. We also had other schools. I mean, it's something that has rose over just in how many days, and it's something that should be of concern. So the situation of the kidnapping and also the invasion of school, it has grown in just the past few days that you have seen, particularly because Donald Trump has seen Nigeria as a country where Christians are being persecuted. The killings have increased, and probably because of that has given rise to the increase in kidnapping, most especially the invasion of schools and kidnap of students as well.
All right. So, do you think? Let's talk about government response. All right. Do you think the government's recent security measures are effective or are merely reactive?
First of all, do we even have government coming out to put out measures? I've not seen government, and I think a popular social media content influencer talking about the very dark man. I think that was late last week. He came out with placards asking the presidency if President Bola Tinubu is really alive, because in other times we would have had the president coming out to address the nation, and nothing like that has happened. We had the killing of the brigadier general. I mean, that is someone, a top official in government when it comes to military, was being killed. The president, after the incident, never even come out to make mention of such. So I don't think the governments right now, they are concerned about the lives of Nigerians, about the lives of citizens. So I've not seen any move. I've not seen any measures that they are put in place to say that they want to do this. In other climes, this would have been a state of emergency. A lot of things would have been done. A lot of arrests would have been done. But we are still seeing people coming out to address the nation, speaking, for the killing of Christians indirectly, and the government are still there. They are not doing anything. So I think this is a big concern, because, the governments are not doing anything. And that's why the U.S. government have said that this is what we're going to do. Currently, the U.S. Congress, they had their Congress last year. That was on a Thursday, and they spoke a lot concerning Nigeria being on the CPC list, the killing of Christians, and everything. And we've still had, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Tuga, going out to still speak saying that Nigeria is not even facing things like that. And while he was speaking, I think after some days, we saw kidnapping, we saw the invasion of churches and the rest. So, I mean, I don't think governments are doing anything, because if governments are really doing anything, first of all, the president would have come out to address Nigerians, speaking to Nigerians, assuring Nigerians. Right now, Nigerians do not need statements. They don't need statements from anyone. They need the president to come out and at least assure Nigerians that these things that are happening is going to end. But nothing like that is happening. So is this happening? Right now, the government, they're not even saying anything. They're being there for years. And also the military. I mean, they're not doing anything. So I don't think there's any measure, or there are no measures at all that have been put in place so far. I mean, it's already going to 1 week right now. No measures from the government, nothing.
All right. Many Nigerians argue that a centralized policing structure isn't working. Is it time for full state policing? Do you think?
Absolutely. You should have state policing. It's not just about coming out with the state policing. We need to look at equipping these people, because we've had reports of some soldiers who were able to face some of these bandits coming out to say that the rifles that those guys are using is not something that they have. I mean, it's not something compared to what they have. So if I'm someone that preach for this state policing, because one is going to help. It's going to help to calm the interior part of the state, and also it's going to help to address some of the issues, because most times you may not have a police officer coming from another state, to dwell in a state. He might not really know the corners of each particular state. But if we have someone who was grooming a particular place, he grew up there, he's able to be integrated into the policing system, I think he'll be able to look inward to help to address the insecurity issue. But with the way things are going, I'm still doubting, because we've heard the story or the reports or the rumor about the state policing ever since, and nothing has been done. By now, I was expecting that it would have been implemented and it would start working so that we help Nigerians, because the insecurity situation in the country, I mean, we're going to the festive period, and it's going to be very alarming. We know what had happened some years during the Christmas Eve. We just hope that same thing won't happen again this year. So for me, I think state policing is one of the biggest issues that should be addressed, in the chambers right now, to see if it could be implemented, men being recruited, and also being well equipped, giving sophisticated weapons. I mean, we should be using technology right now, not using manual way of going into getting a crime being solved. We should be using technology to help solve issues right now. So I think I'm advocating that we need to have state policing in all the states in Nigeria.
All right, let's boil around intelligence and prevention. Why do you think intelligence gathering and early warning systems still fail in many communities?
The intelligence, why it's failing is because, first of all, I think I did a report that was earlier this year concerning how the communities are able to relay information to the police. And I got to find out that, first of all, crimes start within. The crime cannot happen from outside. So before something was happening in the community, that means a person in that community knows the community so well for the person to carry out such acts in that community. So for information to be gotten, that means the community members need to give the police information about what is happening. I'll give you an instance. Something happened in one of these cities right here in Akwa Ibom, specifically at Ikonegbene. And the community members, they were working firsthand to ensure they give the police valid information, giving police all the detailed information that they needed. And that was how they were able to track down on the criminals that have been terrorizing students in that environment. They were able to get and arrest almost 36 of them through the help of those who were living within the community. Now, if such information wasn't given to the police, I don't think it would have helped the police in getting, those people arrested. So information sharing, I think it starts from within, and also the community members, they also need to be told what they need to do, because one thing is sharing, giving you information. Another one is, how am I going to protect myself, or how will I be protected? Because that's always the issue. So when we speak, when I look at my report, one of the basic issues that I found out was that people are always scared because of the country we're living in. Giving out information, telling you that this is what we want to do, or this is who we are looking for, and I give you valid information about this person, I might be at risk. I might be killed. So that is always a problem. So they feel that for me not to be killed, or for me to not be unalive, I have to ensure that I don't give out this information. But if these people are being sensitized, they're being told, and also their privacy is being checked, is being protected, I think it's going to help address this issue. And information sharing about crimes in an environment is going to reduce drastically. But for now, I think people are still scared. They're still feeling insecure giving out information about a particular act or crime in their area.
All right, what particular steps can communities take to prevent kidnapping incidents?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
All right, I said what practical steps can communities take to prevent kidnapping incidents?
So I didn't get your question.
What practical steps can communities take to prevent kidnapping incidents?
Okay, the first step is I think I've forgotten the name of the governor. A particular governor some years ago came out to say if the governments cannot protect the people, then they should legalize, arms for residents or for citizens so that they can protect themselves. So the first step for me, if I were to suggest for the government, is the security operatives being sent to each area should be well armed, and instruction should be given to them. Secondly, community members must be able to give valid information about anyone who is terrorizing or who is causing mayhem in a particular environment. So if in my family I know that I have someone who is into kidnapping, I should not be ashamed to go tell the police. I should not be ashamed to go tell the military if they are coming in to make search for someone like that. I should be the first person. But something like that, you hear people saying family first, and these things continue to grow. If you look at the videos as been circulating online, I've been able to take time to look into these people's faces. You get to realize that most of these persons, they're not older people, they're younger children. They're people between the ages of 19 and 24. They are very young. And these are the people who are going on the streets. These are the people who are going into the bushes, kidnapping these people. And where are they coming from? They're coming from a particular family. And nobody will say that I don't know this person. I don't know that person. So if community members are able to identify these people, are able to come out and say, okay, I know this particular person who is doing this thing, I think this crime is going to reduce. It's going to reduce drastically. But I think the reverse is the case right here. And I'll still not blame some of them because they want to protect themselves. They do not want to be unalive when they give a valid information. Because if I'm able to give an information, I'm able to give information about a particular person, probably the person when it's being caught might, say that I know the person, or speculate that I know the person that did this. So it all starts within. It starts from the family. It starts from the traditional rulers. They have to sensitize their people. They have to come out to ensure that if they want this crime to stop, if they want kidnapping not to happen, you need to report every single incident that is happening within the surroundings. And I think that is going to be one of the key factors that could help in reducing kidnapping.
All right, let's dive around socio-economic factors. How much of the kidnapping crisis is driven by poverty versus organized and criminal networks? Are you there?
Yeah, hello.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
I said let's talk about the socio-economic factors.
Okay.
All right. How much of the kidnapping crisis is driven by poverty versus organized criminal networks?
Sorry, take your question again.
How much of the kidnapping crisis is driven by poverty?
Okay. How much of this? I would say, currently looking at it, the kidnapping that is currently happening, I won't say is driven by poverty. Currently, what we have seen in the past 30 days, let me put it that one, let me zone that period. For the past 30 days, for me, from what I've found out, from what I've read, I don't think it's driven by poverty. It is political, it is sponsored. Because if it were to be poverty, I mean, we won't get to be seeing the instant kidnapping of students, of invasion of churches, and even killing. There is an end to this. So for me, I think it is politically motivated. It is sponsored because if you look at, just as I said, if you look at the kind of ammunitions, look at the kind of rifles that these people are holding, even the military do not have it. The military do not own such things. And just recently, the girls that were being kidnapped in Niger State from St. Mary Secondary School, the bandits are demanding $100 million each. I mean, who is going to have such funds? Now, we realize that when such funds, when these people are being negotiated and given such money, they only use it to get more ammunitions, more rifles that's going to be more sophisticated than what the Nigerian army is owning. So for me, I don't think it is poverty. I think it is politically motivated. It is sponsored. It is being paid for just to stabilize the country. We've heard a lot of reports. Allegedly, I've read a lot of reports, although not yet proven, that in 2015, the late President Muhammadu Buhari, before he came into power, after giving President Goodluck Jonathan a warning that if he doesn't step down, it's going to make Nigeria to be no one will rest in the country. We had reports allegedly they had to bring in people, to stay by. That if that doesn't happen, then they are going to cause mayhem. And now they said these are the people who have turned into bandits, kidnapping because they were not being settled. So you can see if such reports are actually true, then you could see it is political. You see they are being sponsored, they're being given. And again, how do they get these things? How do they, smuggle in, rifles? How do they get their bikes? Because now we have seen videos of them using bikes. How do they get their bikes fueled? How do they bring in those bikes in the country? Where do they buy it from? How do they get money being transferred into the accounts? And who owns the account? Which bank are they? So all these questions get to show that it's politically sponsored. These people are being sponsored. It's rather politically motivated, and they are being sponsored either internationally or locally for this to happen. And if you look at it, over the years, the budget, we have the military budget always going higher than any other thing. And we ask the question, what are they using this for? What are they using the military funds or the budget being allocated for the military? What are they really using it for? We've heard about the drones being bought, but we've never seen it in combating in crime, terrorism in the country. Nothing like that is happening. So for me, I would say it is politically motivated, and it is not down to poverty. Yeah, we may still have some persons on the ground, also hiding under the kidnapping people and the rest, probably just to make ends meet. But what we are seeing around the country, the constant kidnapping from here to there, for me, I don't think it is based down on poverty. For me, I think it is political, and also it is being sponsored either locally or internationally.
All right. And do you think Nigeria has underestimated the link between unemployment, banditry, and terrorism?
Hello?
Are you there?
Yes, I can hear you. Okay.
All right. Do you think Nigeria has underestimated the link between unemployment, banditry, and terrorism?
Okay. Sorry, you are breaking. I can't hear you well. You said if Nigeria is...
Do you think, can you hear me properly now?
Yes, yes.
Do you think Nigeria has underestimated the link between unemployment, banditry, and terrorism?
Okay, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. That's why I said the system has already failed most Nigerians. The government has failed most Nigerians. You find someone leaving school at the age of 21, 22, or 23, before you get employed, probably is into your 30s, and it's a problem. And even before you get, employed into some places, there's what they call connection. So if you don't know someone that knows somebody that knows somebody, probably you will not get the work or the job done. So the rate of unemployment has skyrocketed in the country, and this has also led to people going into kidnapping, going into various crimes, and the rest. So if the government didn't fail Nigerians, that you have enough employment, you have something that is going to keep you alive, something that is going to keep you happy. I mean, nobody will be thinking of something to do, because right now we are seeing young people looking for various crimes to commit just because they want to make ends meet. Okay, they want to make much money into their pockets. We have seen different cyber crimes. We have seen a lot of things. We have seen kidnapping and the rest. All those things, I mean, it is not the older people. It's not someone who is age 60 or 70 that is going in to do that. That's what I'm saying. There are younger people. There are younger ones who come from various families. Just because they want to make better their family, then they have to go into this. So if the government is able to improve or to give enough jobs to its citizens, give enough, bring in industries, be able to build, production companies that could help to sustain people, then immediately you leave school, you have something, you are sure that you're going to have a job for yourself. People will not be thinking of how to make ends meet using various ways, through kidnapping, through ritual, through whatever means to make ends meet. They will know that the government is there. There's a system. It's a particular system that you need to follow. For you to have this job, you just need to follow this particular system. At the end of the day, you have the job and things move well. But the government has failed Nigerians, and that's why we are in this particular situation. So if we want to turn the hands of time, want to make Nigerians to be happy, want to stay happy, I think it starts from the government. The government also, they have a part to play. They need to do a whole lot to ensure that Nigerians are happy, because currently Nigerians are not happy. Even me, I'm not happy. So, I mean, the rate of unemployment has gone high, and if you don't double your hustle, as they do say, then you'll not be able to make ends meet. You'll not be able to eat, at least 2 square meals in a day. So I think unemployment is one of the biggest factors that has contributed to that.
All right, let's look around the impact and public trust. How has this wave of insecurity affected public confidence in government and institutions?
Yeah, just as I said earlier, the government have failed to protect its citizens. And just as I said, the president up to now hasn't addressed the nation. So nobody is having trust. Nobody is confident that they can be protected or they are protected under any watch. As it stands right now, it's every man for itself. You need to protect yourself. If you can't protect yourself, you don't have to wait for the security operative, because even the security operative, they want to protect themselves. If a brigadier general was being found or was being killed, then what's the life? What's the hope for the common man who is not even well protected? So the trust, the public trust from the government, for me, it has reduced drastically. Nobody is putting much hope or much trust in it. And that's because the government has failed Nigerians. They have failed to ensure that this is what they have to do. They have failed to put, or to give trust to Nigerians, to tell them that, look, whatever that happened, we are going to be there, we are going to protect you. If this were to be in other climes, let's not even use the first world countries. Let's look at other countries, the middle world countries. If this were to be happening in such countries, by now we would have seen a whole lot. We would have been seeing reports of arrests. We have been seeing a lot of things happening. But down here, it's different. And it begs Nigerians to continue to ask the questions that why were they born here? What is the government doing? Is it that no government official is there? No one is talking about it. Even the Senate, nobody is saying anything about it. I mean, it's something, it's alarming. So nobody is going to, to put the trust. When a person is going out, you realize that the person is just prepared that, as I'm going out today, Lord, help me as I return back. And it's something that we all need to look at. So for me, citizens, their trust, their hope in the government is gone. I don't think anyone will be waiting for the government to come out to protect them, because they themselves, they want to protect themselves.
So what are the long-term psychological effects on children and families who live in high-risk areas?
Well, the pain is going to be there. First of all, I think I could remember that was last year I was in Jos, and we went for a training, and I was able to stumble on this particular guy that had the family was being killed. I think it was just he and the sister still alive, and we're talking to him, the pains and how they've been able to live through without the family. One thing he kept on saying is that the images, the way the parents were being murdered, keeps on replaying, in his brain. He can't just get it out from his head. There is something that he keeps on seeing. Each time he closes his eyes, he continues to see these things. And it has even affected him. He's someone that was very outspoken, but since that incident happened then, that he has not been able to come out to speak, because he's always scared. Each time he wants to talk, the fear and everything comes to his head. So for me, psychologically, it's going to affect these kids. It's going to make them to think differently. It's going to make them to see the environment as so different. They won't be able to be outspoken, and it's going to demoralize most of the attitude into what they're supposed to do. So children need to be protected, because children, most especially, they're mentally, they're not as strong as an adult. So they need to be protected in everything, in every areas. But the government is not protecting us. Yesterday, the UN, as well as UNICEF, had to release a report saying that with the way things are going in Nigeria, every child in the northern region being affected, or in other regions being affected by this crime, when they grow, it's going to affect them mentally. They're going to see these things to be a normal issue, that they cannot even react to certain things. And this is the issue. You start to see kids at a younger age doing certain things that you keep on asking the questions, why are they doing this? It's because of what they have been exposed to. It's because of what they have seen in their early age. And it's going to affect them mentally. So if they're being protected, if they're being, let to grow normally, I mean, a young child, just the last kidnapper we had reports between the ages of 10 and 18 were being kidnapped, younger children. Now, what are they going to say if they're being released? What things have they passed through, or what are the things they saw right there? A whole lot is going to affect them. I mean, it's something the government also needs to look out for. But right now, the government has been deaf here. We've only seen reports or statements coming out from government officials that the police are doing this, the ministry are doing this. There's no proactive actions being taken to prevent further kidnaps. For me, I think those in those affected areas, for now, if it's able for government to relocate most of them, most especially the kids who are in schools, I think schools right now in the northern part should all be closed down so that it could help these kids to stay focused. Because if they pass through situations, it's going to affect them all through their life. It's not something that could be easily erased. The brain is so sophisticated that it can recall a whole lot of things. Most especially when someone is in a danger, most especially the kid, if he or she is not able to, to pass through a therapist to help, remove such things in their brain, is going to be there for a very long time. So I think the government has a whole lot to do. They have to play a part in helping these children so they will not pass through the problem they are currently seeing right now, because it is really disheartening and it's really painful.
All right, let's talk about solutions and policy. What immediate policy actions would you recommend to curb kidnappings?
Sorry, which minute?
I said let's talk about solutions and policy. What immediate policy actions would you recommend to curb kidnappings?
Okay, we had over the weeks now. First of all, we had now Trump saying he wants to come in to invade the country. But I think yesterday we had a congressman from the US coming out to make mention that he has given Nigerians two conditions that they have to what they have to do if they want the country or they want the US to help Nigeria. And for me, the one of the things it needs to do, or the suggestion I can give, we have foreign bodies, and the US are ready to help. Just as I said, they're giving conditions. First of all, they said Sunday was being arrested, being sentenced to life, they're going to be killed because he killed a herdsman while he was trying to protect himself, that he needs to be released. And they also gave another condition for Nigeria, for US to come in to help the country. Now, the first thing is the Nigerian government needs to be sincere about everything, because something cannot happen in a family without a member of the family knowing what is happening. Probably someone in the government might know what is happening. So, first of all, the federal government needs to be very sincere about the entire issue that is happening. It's either they expose those who are funding this, who are financing these crimes, for it to be solved. Secondly, we also need to look at the state policing, just as we talked about. The state policing needs to be brought to book. It needs to be introduced so that a whole lot can be done. It's going to help, the police itself to stay vigilant, and also they need to be equipped. When this is being introduced, they need to be equipped. It's not just introducing this policy or bringing this new method to bear without being equipped. They need to be equipped. And also, I think it's going to help protect those who are going to go out on the field right there. And apart from that, new technologies need to be introduced. We have even in Burkina Faso here, fighting crimes like this, they make use of drones. Look at the weapons that they're using in fighting these things is not something that we're using right here. So things like that need to be introduced the use of modern technology in fighting crimes. I mean, it's something that the Nigerian government is supposed to stay just at one place, look at where the crime is happening, and then they try to, visit such area. But currently, it is not what we're having. It's not what that is happening, and it's really affecting us. Then, number 3 is sensitization of community members. Information sharing. They need to be spoken about. How to share information at real time, and also protecting such people. That when you share information about a particular thing, that they are going to be protected. Nobody will get to know. Having that full trust, is something that is also going to help, the community members in giving out information immediately, and also paying attention to real-time response, because we have most of this attack, just like the school that was being attacked right there in Kebbi. I mean, they made mention that security operatives were right there. They were right in the school while they were interviewing the teachers. And just 30 minutes after they left the environment, that was when the bandits came. So the question now is, what happened during that space of the 30 minutes? Why did they leave? What happened at that moment? So it is there to show the lacuna in the military. It is to show that something went wrong. I mean, there's nobody that we will not ask questions, that will know that there was something, or there's something really wrong. There's something going on. There's something brewing. So the information and also immediacy in responding to situation is something that we also need to pay attention to. And also full trust, because right now Nigerians have all given up. They don't have that trust. They don't have that hope. The trust needs to be built once again in Nigerians. They have to give Nigerians that, look, we are behind you. We know that this is happening, but we are going to solve, we're going to work out ways to do this. Arrest should be met. The president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, but right now he's not doing anything. So, I mean, it begs for question. So it needs to build a trust into the government, or rather into the heart of Nigerians, that look, this is what we have for you, and we should not be scared about anything. Because right now, nobody knows what is going to happen tomorrow. Nobody knows what will happen in the next 24 hours. Everyone is on red alert. So, because the security operatives, they're not even out there to help you. So, I mean, with some of these few points, I believe we could help, to reduce or to arrest some of the issues when it comes to terrorism, kidnapping, and the rest in Nigeria.
All right. Let me ask you a question. Since your current location shows you're in Akwa Ibom, all right? So, how is the security situation there in Akwa Ibom?
Sorry, what did you say?
I said, how is the security situation there in Akwa Ibom? Do you have kidnappings like in the northern part of Nigeria?
Okay, currently, right here in Akwa Ibom, we've not had any report of that because the governor of the state, he has been working tirelessly when it comes to security operatives, mining some key areas of the state. And the security operatives here in the state, I love what the governor has been doing. I think some weeks ago, I was at the press briefing where the police were being well equipped with new vehicles, and also they were being given modern equipment to ensure that they combat crimes like this. And just as the governor said, that he knows the security situation in the country. He has been able to secure the waterways. If you go to places like to Ibanor, the places that lead to Calabar, you're going to find security men. They are right there, even on boats, securing areas like that, even on land, ensuring that things like that is being done. And you also find police, parading the environment. I think for now, the governor has tried when it comes to, ensuring that security in Akwa Ibom is top of its priority, just as it's paying attention to other areas in the state. So right here in Akwa Ibom, we have not heard any of those issues of kidnapping, and we just hope that it's not going to happen. We don't want it to spread around, the country, because it's heartbreaking what's happening in the north. It's not that we're happy that it's happening just in the north, but we want to see how it's going to stop everywhere. Let's see how we can arrest this issue. But here in Akwa Ibom is peaceful, and we thank God.
All right, last question for the day before I let you go. Many Nigerians feel the government is responding only after tragedies occur. Do you think our security agencies...
Sorry, what did you say?
I said many Nigerians feel the government is responding only after tragedies occur. All right. Do you think our security agencies are failing at intelligence and early intervention?
We talked about the security operatives responding. That's why I said I've not even seen. We are only seeing reports. We are seeing that the military have mobilized 1,000 men, 1,000 soldiers to go into. I'm seeing some reports on the internet or on papers or on the army pages, and I laugh about it. I think our military right here, they need to be retrained. They need to go into modern retraining. The government needs to retrain most of our military into modern way of fighting crimes, modern way of taking things into consideration. So you want to go and kidnap, or you want to go and rescue those who are being kidnapped, and you're putting those information online, saying that we have about 1,000. Those are detailed information. Giving out sensitive information to your enemy. I mean, you're arming them with information that you want to. So they know you're coming with 1,000 men, and they are ready for you. They know you're passing through Route A, and they are ready for you. They know you're using the air, they are ready for you. But today, I mean, if you're seeing a military giving out information, that gets to show they're just only doing that just to buy face, just to make Nigerians believe, oh, they are working. For me, I think they have to give results that, okay, we have been able to rescue the girls. These were the things. Giving out information after an act has been done. That's what we see in other climes. But right here, we are only seeing information that this was going to be done. So there's nothing being done. There's no proactive measures. They are not doing anything. For now, it's just paper talk. And just as people will say audio talk, they're just saying this and just posting it out there, and there is nothing that has been done. How many arrests have been made? Nobody has been arrested. Nobody has been taken into custody. Nobody's being tried. I mean, and this is continuing. So I'm just praying that what happened last week, let it just be that is just going to be the end so far, because we're not going to see such an alarming situation again. So we just hope everywhere for now it's going to be peaceful. The army is going to walk into the areas that we've had these cases, and they try to calm those situations down. We also had the president last week. He was to travel to South Africa and Angola. He had to postpone his flights. His travel to South Africa for the G20 summit. He's saying that he wants to get briefing about the situation. Initially, he said he sent the vice president Shetima to go down to this area, to KB State. I mean, so far we have not heard any report. What happened? How was the situation? What were the reports? We have not seen things like that. And he's begging for question. He's really begging for question. And now we've seen the Niger State girls being kidnapped again. I mean, he's still begging for question. Now he has sent the former governor of Zamfara State, Matawale. I mean, yeah, to also go down to arrest. So all these things are going down there. For me, I think it's just audio talk. Nothing is being done. The government is not working. The government are not responding to any situation. They are only facilitating Nigerians to believe that they are working, and they are not doing anything. So I just believe that as time goes on, maybe President Tinubu is quietly working, I'm not going to judge him yet, but we're still giving him time to see what he's going to do. But for now, I think the government needs to wake up. They need to wake up. And just as Donald Trump said, he's giving the Nigerian government time to act decisively. If not, he's going to move his military into the country. And we know what it means if Donald Trump allows the U.S. military to invade Nigeria to start to do this. I mean, the unrest is going to be alarming and it's going to spread across the country. So I think right now, President Bola Tinubu, he really needs to do something. He really needs to work fast to ensure that the spate of kidnapping, the act of terrorism has reduced drastically. And arrest the sponsors, release their names, bring the names to book. I think that's going to help. I mean, big thanks. I think for now, the DSS have been working very well. I just wish they could be, armed well. They could be given more sophisticated technology to help to fight this. They have been giving vital information, but they always have reports that they are not acting on such information. So for me, kudos to the DSS, the Department of the State Service. They have been doing so well. The man up there, he has been working so well. So I just hope that more is going to be done. The military needs to be well equipped to help Nigerians because Nigerians are crying. Nigeria is bleeding, and we just hope that the bleeding will stop very soon so that Nigerians can return back on the street. School children can go back to school, and everyone will live peacefully in the country.
All right, thank you very much, Jonathan Essen, a journalist and a public commentator, for having you on the show this morning. I sincerely appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, so we'll be going on a short break, and when we come back, we'll talk about sports.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Welcome back from that short break. It has been an amazing time with our guests where we talked about politics, and then we talked about insecurity in Nigeria. And now we're moving on to sporting activities. All right, welcome to today's cycling session. Hop on your bike, check your posture, and make sure your resistance is set for an easy warm-up level fit centered on pedals. Today we're talking about cycling. A form of exercise, another form of exercise, cycling. Some people prefer cycling while some people prefer walking. All right, core engagement, shoulders relax and take a deep breath. Then let's ride. Warm up, start pedaling at a comfortable pace. All right, keep your resistance light. Focus on smooth cycles with your legs, loosening the hip and warming the muscles. Inhale through the nose. All right, then exhale through the mouth in 20 seconds. Slightly increase your pace. Stay here, keep breathing, and let legs build rhythm. Health benefits of cycling: strengthens the heart and improves blood circulation, lower risk of heart disease, high blood pressure and stroke, enhances endurance and aerobic capacity. Then we have the muscle strength zone. It builds bones, muscles in the legs, and core engagement, stabilizing muscles for balance low impact way to strengthen joints and connectivity. All right, if you're going for cycling, you put on either a shorts, knicker or trouser and your boots, something that will make you look fit. All right, just like these gentlemen are dressed. If you're going for cycling, these are fancy wear. Then weight management, it burns calories, metabolism. Even after the ride, it helps to reduce body fat while preserving lean muscles. Low impact on joints and then the ankles compared to running. Some people, like I stated earlier, they prefer cycling. All right, they move on a low pace. They don't run. They start as early as possible and then return back maybe 2 hours later. It's suitable for people recovering from certain injuries. Then mental health benefits. All right, it improves mood, it reduces stress, anxiety and symptoms of depression, enhances mental clarity and focus. Outdoor cycling can increase vitamin D and connection to nature. It's improved lung function, strengthening respiratory efficiency, enhances oxygen delivery and breathing techniques, better balance and coordination. It also helps improve posture and coordination risk of falls as you age. You know, stronger immune system. It moderates intestine. Cycling boosts immune response. May reduce risk of chronic inflammation. Then we have disease prevention. Right, regular cycling helps reduce risk of type 2 diabetes, obesity, some cancers. Either directly through improved strength and fitness. It's improved longevity. Studies show that active cyclists tend to live longer and maintain healthier lifestyle overall. So when next you're choosing form of exercise, you can either choose cycling or walking or football. We have so many forms of exercise, depends on the one you want to go for. Thank you for being part of today's program. Sincerely appreciate your time, your energy and your commitment and learning and growth as well. And here we call it a day. My name is Sadia Yakubu Yahya. Stay out of trouble. When you're going out, you inform your loved ones, tell anybody, or you drop your location about where you're going or who you're meeting. Until next week again when I come your way, bye for now.